Welcome to Blenheim, jewel of Oxfordshire. To welcome visitors. Welcome to Blenheim, jewel of Oxfordshire. Built by Sir John Vanbrugh and birthplace of Sir Winston Churchill.
This is a real honour, and for me.
With nearly 1 million visitors annually.
Lots to see then, lots to do.
Exploring the 300-year-old estate.
And voila, the door is open.
It's non-stop.
We're slightly overwhelmed, to be honest.
For the staff behind the grandeur.
Got to protect the palace.
As they can serve,
Oh, aren't they beautiful?
entertain, and inspire.
I love the place, I love the people.
Welcome to the beating heart of Britain's greatest palace. Today, the Palace Collections team battle an unruly trespasser.
We have a pigeon that can't find its way back out again.
The catering department are put through their paces.
5 minutes to get this to the palace, guys.
And the palace welcomes a special guest.
This was their finest hour.
It's early morning, and the golden light of dawn is breaking over Oxfordshire. Nestled amongst the picturesque countryside stands 300-year-old Blenheim Palace, a masterpiece of Baroque architecture. But conserving this World Heritage Site whilst welcoming the 1 million guests who visit each year is no easy feat for the 500 employees that work across the estate. And in the thick of the action is George, an apprentice from the Palace Collections team. And today he's been given the most important job of all, opening the palace.
No, it is a real privilege to be the person letting all the light into the palace in the morning when no one else is here. This process has been done for hundreds of years.
Opening up all the staterooms is a time-consuming task.
So it kind of feels like it's your palace and you're opening up for the day. Or at least maybe you're the butler.
The historic country house was designed by architect and playwright Sir John Vanbrugh, who was also behind the design of Castle Howard.
They say that it was constructed so well that you could shine a laser through the keyholes from one end to the other. So it was a nice anecdote.
The first coaches full of visitors are expected to arrive within the hour, and there's still a lot to do. But overnight, there's been a break-in.
So we have a pigeon that has come in through a broken window and it can't find its way back out again. But it's a big issue for us because obviously we don't want the bird to hurt itself, but also their poo is very acidic and so it's very bad for the stone.
But for Keeper of Palace Kate, the droppings from the aerial ambush are also a threat to the priceless frocks in the temporary exhibition below.
We've got all of these beautiful loans for the exhibition in the palace, and textiles and pigeon poo doesn't really mix. All the dresses are covered up just to protect them.
And with thousands of guests coming to see the collection, it's not ideal. So Kate's enlisted the support of the maintenance team, who have supplied her with a few unconventional tools.
They nest above the front door, which is one of the reasons we have my handy tool here, which is a Nerf gun, which has just got tiny little soft pellets in it, and we just fire that into the general area where they're nesting, and that seems to disturb them.
Although gunning down pigeons isn't the most extreme method at their disposal.
We also use a hawk sometimes, just flies around in the general area and then that scares them off.
With the guests arriving shortly, there's no time for falconry. But Kate has another unusual approach.
I'm going to play some pigeon sounds and see if that entices it. And then hopefully if it comes down, Timmy will catch it for us.
Of course.
We'll start whispering.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work on this one.
Sometimes they can stay in for a few days and then they exhaust themselves.
Or they break windows.
Or they break windows. It's a constant battle.
And it's a battle they are losing.
Another one just flew in.
Where?
The stairwell.
Oh no, and there's another one's just flown into the stairwell. So Timmy's going to try and see if he can catch that one for us.
Pigeon 2, Kate and the team, nil. Across the estate, With less than an hour until guests arrive, everyone is busy preparing the palace for opening. And for the catering department, keeping shelves stocked across the site's 4 eateries is a challenging task.
We have a lunch menu, and then we're most famous for our afternoon teas. Our scones are probably the best part. They're all homemade by our chefs every single day, and they're amazing.
And since today's an especially busy day, with 30 minutes until open, Head of Catering Jack is in the hub kitchen on the far side of the estate at Park Farm.
Morning, morning.
Keeping things on track.
Barney, can we make sure that we just get this all out straight away, please, mate? Ready to start now? Yeah.
The team is on the clock preparing salads, baguettes and sweet treats for over 2,000 guests expected to arrive imminently.
Kate, how you doing?
Hi, Jack.
Flapjacks, I presume?
Yep, absolutely.
How many are we making today?
250 portions.
Nice.
It's a massive job for the 20 kitchen staff across the site, who each have to create hundreds of meals a day.
Finish out the beef and horseradish baguettes.
Brilliant.
But keeping all the ingredients locally sourced is a huge challenge.
This is all the produce that's come down from our gardens. Asparagus, rosemary, mint. This is wild garlic. Where we want to be is all our produce is within a 20-mile radius. We're probably about 60% at the moment.
But empty shelves are the worst-case scenario, and the clock is still ticking.
5 minutes to get this to the palace, guys.
And to keep traffic away from the palace, the hub kitchen is a mile away.
The guys, they are constantly running around. They barely have a moment to sit down. There is quite a lot of them. Blenheim it's the best place I've ever worked at. The scenery is absolutely amazing. You know, you can take a walk in the park on your lunch break, and it's really soothing.
With just minutes until the first coaches are due to arrive, Jack has driven ahead to help stock the pantry cafe.
They've arrived. Ah, you've got it. You've got it. Yeah, cool, no problem. All right, perfect.
And it's all hands on deck.
We're always on tight 10 o'clock because we've got lots of people coming in. We don't want lots of movement and stuff like that. So I'll jump in if I need to. Sell about 400 salads a week and about 1,500 sandwiches. The produce comes up twice a week, and then yeah, we turn it around within 24, 48 hours. It's, you know, this is made this morning. It goes out, it gets sold. Happy days.
And with moments to go, the pantry cafe is ready for guests. And though the resident ducks are keen to be first in the queue, they'll just have to wait their turn. However, back at the palace, not all the birds are being so cooperative.
We have a pigeon that can't find its way back out again.
And with the first round of coaches and cars arriving, the pressure to catch it is on. These morning groups are heading straight for the Great Hall. And with only moments left to catch the pigeon, they're trying every trick in the book.
Ryan's bought some hot cross buns to try and entice it down. So hopefully...
Oh, I'd go for hot cross.
I know.
And it seems the pigeon couldn't resist either.
Timmy, well done! The tiny little hole in the stone. And so Timmy did very well to catch him.
Okay, so we can
We can
take the covers off the dresses now, yeah?
And we don't have to order.
Excellent.
The pigeon has gone for now, and it's just in time. As the visitors flock towards the palace, the mannequins can have their protective covers removed and the dresses revealed, ready for the first group arriving at the main doors. Coming up, Jack goes in search of produce.
We need so much more lettuce this year.
And the events team are ready to party.
Right, come on, it's tradition. Let's do the first selfie.
Blenheim Palace, built at the close of the Stuart dynasty over 300 years ago, has 118 stone columns which support the magnificent 7 acres of buildings and courts. And since 1950, they have opened their doors to welcome visitors.
Have you been before?
No.
Oh, lots to see then, lots to do. Lovely, thank you. Enjoy.
Hi, good morning, welcome to Blenheim. I think it's the first we've seen it be very busy. Hi, good morning. But it's okay, we should be good because we've got everybody in their positions and everything's, hectic, but it's okay. We'll run through it. Hi. Dad. The audio guides, if you just go to the left. Hello, welcome.
Guests from all over the world add the ancestral home of the Duke of Marlborough to their travel itinerary. The halls are lined with historic artefacts that date back to 1704, when Queen Anne and a grateful nation gifted the estate and finance for the build to John Churchill, the first Duke, for his victorious leadership over the French at the Battle of Blenheim. In the staterooms, the Marlborough tapestries tell the story that changed the fortunes of Europe, and with so much to learn, they'll need a helping hand.
We need 40 Japanese, if you wouldn't mind.
40?
Japanese.
Yeah.
Blenheim provides audio guides in a large number of languages, and needing to converse with a variety of international visitors provides a daily challenge for the Blenheim Guest Services team.
My first day working here, I had 60 Dutch tourists come, and it was grateful. It was good because I got to sort of speak to them in my language, and I managed to do it all fast and quick, so it was all done efficiently. But yeah, we're not always that lucky. That was just a one-off.
Unfortunately, today isn't one of those lucky days, as the audio tours seem to be having problems connecting to the Palace network.
Sorry.
I think we've got an AP down in the Palace.
Whereabouts?
Looks like the access point under the Great Hall.
It's for the audio guides.
The Blenheim IT wizards are constantly monitoring the internet connectivity of the Palace, and the red light could spell problems.
Okay, let's go.
With the team based at Woodstock Gate, they're only moments from the action.
Never a dull moment here at the Palace. That keeps it interesting.
But running a historic palace is dependent on modern technology. And though it wasn't designed for the internet age, a crack team of specialists have come up with a system and hidden the evidence below stairs.
Shall I go and get the step ladders?
Go get the steps up. I'll see if I can spot it. We're looking for wireless AP because it's so difficult to get cabling in the palace itself and the staterooms and the Great Hall. We've come up with an interesting way of beaming the Wi-Fi underneath from the undercroft here, because you've got decent cable trays, easy access, much easier to do cabling. The Wi-Fi signal is not too bad coming up through the floors as opposed to trying to get through the thick stone walls.
Right, Michael. I'm pretty sure it's just up here. Ah, here's the culprit, look. He's not working, there's no light. I think we might need to make that end off again, Michael. Looks a bit iffy.
Yeah. They didn't have to worry about Wi-Fi signal in the early 18th century when the palace was built. But the 3-foot thick limestone walls won't defeat Av and the gang now.
There we go. Hopefully that will resolve our issue. Maybe, Michael, you want to plug it in?
Moment of truth, Av. There we go.
Hey,
well done,
voila,
Av.
we got power.
Okay, I'll leave you to put that back up, and I will check and see if it comes back online. So this is the original alarm that we saw. So we should see that turn green once it's online. Well, it's so difficult to run cables, we don't want to damage any of the aesthetics now. There we go. We're green.
We're good?
Yep.
Result.
Upstairs in the Great Hall with the Wi-Fi fixed, the 40 Japanese tourists are enjoying their tour. And with everything running smoothly inside again, there's a sense of excitement outside.
The huge stage goes over there. It's just superb. There's a real build-up to it. It's really exciting.
Nocturne, an annual 4-day music festival held in the Great Court, is starting its build.
I've been to quite a few outdoor concerts and in different places, but I think here, with this backdrop, it's absolutely unique, and the sound is just incredible.
The series of concerts, which Blenheim has hosted annually since 2015, is a highlight of the events calendar. This year, the 12 acts performing are expected to introduce over 40,000 music lovers to the palace.
you'll see a lot of people standing on here as well. And just with the view and the music, it's just absolutely superb. Can't you tell we really enjoy Nocturne?
And then it rains.
And then it rains. No.
Let's hope Ian hasn't jinxed it. With so many events and bookings to plan for, head of catering Jack is heading to the walled garden to meet Harrison, the vegetable gardener.
We're going to go and talk about grow plan today and see what he can come up with. And then we take that back to the chefs and we have a discussion and then we put a menu together.
Jack has ambitious plans for this year's crops, but he needs to consult with Harrison, who is responsible for growing all the produce in their own backyard.
Harrison? Oh, where is he?
If he can only be found.
I actually can't find Harrison. The guy doesn't have a mobile, which is good, because it's not on his email address. Hello? Harrison, hi. I didn't think you had a mobile. I thought you were sending pigeons out or something.
Don't mention pigeons.
Here he is. Old school bulber. Harrison, I picked you up as this big celebrity gardener now. I don't know, miscommunication. Good.
With Harrison located, it's time to talk shop.
I just need to get a list of what you've got at the moment so we can actually start utilising it better.
I mean, just over here now, there's 2 beds of Caballero Nero, got white and red onions, loads of garlic. Unfortunately, the birds have had their way with some of the crops.
Is that why things are covered?
That's why things are covered, exactly. A quarter of the garden is entirely mixed leaf salad, so that we're going to be turning over about 10 to 20 kilograms every week.
Wow.
To keep things organic, Harrison has been using a unique gardening system.
What we've done is we've intersown them with the garlic, and what we're going to do, we're going to pick the outer leaves so the plants stay alive.
Yep.
And they're going to grow back, and we'll give one bed of rest each week, so it'll just be building up a kind of really flavoursome salad mix over the summer that's ever-changing.
Delicious. We need so much more lettuce this year. You know, the salad sales and the sandwiches. I think we went through 700 sandwiches. That's just this weekend, and they've all got your lettuce in.
Amazing.
The kitchen garden is a huge bonus for the catering team, and the potential is not wasted on Jack.
The reason I love the produce here is because we can just pick it up, wash it, and put it on a plate within 24 hours. You know, it's incredible. I've never seen this before in my career where we have this opportunity to do this, so it's amazing. So this year I'm determined that I want at least 1 or 2 dishes in every cafe, which comes from the garden.
Yeah.
Completely carbon neutral or negative carbon neutral.
Yeah.
So that might be just a baba ganoush from the aubergines or something with a dip, you know, like a flatbread dip or something. But that's the whole idea. And then we can say, right, this is Blenheim Estate garden produce, and which would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Cool. Good.
Plan fully formed. It's time to get to it. And Harrison's hard work is just getting started. But he doesn't seem to mind.
Dissatisfaction, I think, in life than being responsible for growing your own foods, live by the seasons, eat healthily. It's just a great job to have, and I'm super fortunate to be here. There's always pressure to make sure that the kitchens are happy, and when there's no guarantees in this world, in the farming, in the gardening world, sometimes that translates to stress. You know, when you plant out 2 whole beds of something and then the following day you come in and there's absolutely nothing left because the birds have eaten everything, that is a bit stressful. But you just have to remind yourself that this garden is not outside of the ecosystem of this walled garden, and that those birds have just helped themselves to something that they thought was going.
Work on the walled garden began with the palace build in 1705, with architect Sir John Vanbrugh and royal gardener Henry Wise fulfilling the design for John Churchill and his Duchess Sarah. Palace life centred around the Great Court at the north of the building, where the original entrance was intended at Ditchley Gate, 2 miles away. Now the Column of Victory, built to honour the first Duke, stands at the midway point of the grand tree-lined avenue that leads to the Great Court, where Blenheim's latest event, Nocturne Music Festival, is almost set up, and Natalie and Julian from Events are raring to go.
So it's our first night of Nocturne. We've got the Fatback Band, we've got Sister Sledge and Shaka Khan.
We've had various acts over the years. Elton John, Gary Barlow, Noel Gallagher,
Kylie Minogue.
Kylie Minogue, she was in here as well.
Being a venue worthy of music royalty is no small feat, and events are a big and important revenue stream for Blenheim, which ploughs profits straight back into maintaining and future-proofing the palace. So it's important it goes off without a hitch.
Final checks, 4:30, doors will open, 6 o'clock, the first act will be on stage. So it's an hour and a half to get everything ready, it's quite tight.
It's crunch time to set up over 10,000 seats and complete sound checks. But for Natalie and Julian, this is second nature, and they're always having to think 2 steps ahead.
It takes an awful lot of team and an awful lot of planning. I say it's always a year in the process, and you're always in the middle of one, you're already thinking about the next one. So it's constant.
And Natalie is putting a lot of thought into forward planning.
I think my dream headliner I would love to see is Dolly Parton. Dolly at the Palace. Parton at the Palace.
The final chair has been placed in the 300-year-old courtyard, and there's only one thing left to do.
Right, come on, it's tradition. Let's do the first selfie.
But as the doors open, so do the heavens.
We've seen people already with their ponchos on. Whatever the weather, it's going to be a great night, so we won't let the rain dampen our spirits in any way. So we're ready to open, security's done their checks, everybody's happy.
Good stuff, right.
Nocturne 2024.
Let's rock and roll.
Let's rock and roll.
Inside, Apprentice George has other concerns. The palace is fine china, donated by Reverend Samuel Spalding to the 4th Duke in 1793.
So although it's a great opportunity to have these events at the palace, we do have to bear in mind the protection of our artefacts. You know, we have to look after the collection. One thing, especially for concerts and air shows, these kind of things, is vibrations, especially for china. So, I'll see if I can reach it. There we are. This is a vibrational sensor. So it just measures how fast it's accelerating and how fast it's moving. What tends to happen, unfortunately, after a big concert, is the china can move.
Protecting the priceless collections and historic building is the priority for everyone at Blenheim. But it's expensive to run a palace, so it's a delicate balance to strike.
We have to continually check, because what we don't want especially is things touching. Any kind of mechanical stress on objects can cause damage. Very simple task. The worst bit about the sensors is changing the batteries. Brilliant, thank you. I've got one more to check.
Oh, have you, where's that then?
I think I can reach it.
Actually, but I need the ladder. No, you hold that. Go on.
It's embarrassing. Cut this. Thank you. A lot of conservation is about monitoring. So we are detecting risks and managing them before they become damage. Preventative conservation is what it's called, but preventing damage.
Coming up, will the china survive the party?
This cow is a little bit twisted.
And things have gone pear-shaped in the veg garden.
I seem to have misplaced my scissors. Talk about being efficient.
Set in 2,000 acres of Oxfordshire parkland, Blenheim is the only non-royal palace in England, gifted to the Duke of Marlborough by Queen Anne in 1704. Now, with a reputation as one of the finest views in England, Blenheim is a popular choice for event organisers. Tonight, the latest event, Nocturne, a series of music concerts, has its opening night in the Great Court. But the heavens have opened, and with 10,000 attendees, it's a serious safety concern. So Monty is at the palace entrance to deal with any arising issues.
I don't think the weather's going to get any better, but yeah, we're still keeping an eye out in case anything happens on the ground, like first aid incidents or anything in the wet weather. There's lots of ducks out and there's lots of geese as well. Of course, they actually enjoy the wet. Yeah, quite friendly. Although I wouldn't put my hands near them personally. Might try and eat your fingers.
With their fingers still intact and the rain not letting up, Monty is being supported by Natalie, who is ferrying guests to and from the car park. It's a service they offer rain or shine, but unsurprisingly, it's very popular today.
We offer a buggy service from Blue Badge disabled parking, or generally accessible parking, back down to the palace. I love the place, I love the people, I love the public. It's made me a better person. It's the most me I've ever been in a job, and can't see me ever doing anything else, really.
With guests of all ages filling the Great Court and surrounding hospitality areas, and with the stunning setting offering a fabulous backdrop for social media posts, even in the rain, the IT crowd are keeping a close eye on the bespoke network they've installed for Nocturne.
That's a map of the entire event and all the access points and all the infrastructure that's keeping it going. We're running without any backups at the moment, just on the primary links.
Okay.
Fingers crossed it doesn't go down.
So as long as it doesn't rain too heavily and we don't have a problem, then we're okay.
But the weather is not cooperating, and the inconsistent downpour is threatening to cause issues with the network, and a system outage would spell disaster. So Sarah and the team are performing roaming spot checks.
Yeah, at the moment I'm getting a decent speed.
I saw it for the Traders one.
Are you on Traders?
Yeah. Should be capped at 10. Up to 10, we're getting
Yeah.
10.5. Yeah.
Okay, so it's pretty solid. I'm quite impressed.
The success of the evening is dependent on that signal.
The food traders, they're completely cashless, so all of the payments have to be contactless. So if they go down, then that is a major problem.
Apart from the ice cream man.
Apart from the ice cream man who got a sign saying he takes cash, so we're like, winner.
With the Wi-Fi holding up and the first act underway, inside the Stables Cafe, doubling as an artist's hangout, Bonnie and Jack are feeling the heat in the kitchen.
So each night I'm given a sheet like this and it tells me exactly who's having the main course and any dietary requirements. So I know what I'm doing.
With the team stretched across the event, Jack and Bonnie are getting stuck in, as the 60 guests are looking forward to a hot meal before they step out on stage.
That's the first chicken. You can also take
the
veggies and just wait for the potatoes.
Potatoes.
It's all go. But this hasn't stopped the team putting together a menu worthy of the A-list artists. Chaka Khan, Sister Sledge and the Fatback Band, all playing tonight.
Oh no, this is for the ice cream. Oh, but that's all. No, that's not my salad.
Everyone thinks, you know, doing these events is all high life, having fun. I mean, a large part of it is, but then this is the part they don't think of, is the wash up, emptying of the bins.
But it's all about teamwork.
I can remember when Jack first started, it was so nice just having that senior manager come in and just really want to improve it. You know, Jack does Employee of the Week, he buys us all sweets.
Jack, what do you think? She wants a pay rise, that's what I think. That's why she's giving me a compliment.
Am I getting one?
No.
No.
Back outside in the Great Court, Nocturne 2024 is in full swing.
Shaggy party's on. It's our last act of the evening. Everyone's having a great time, whatever the weather. We're so happy for now. It's fun today. And we're really excited for the rest of the run.
The first night of Nocturne has been a huge success, and the proud tradition of the festival continues for another year. As well as introducing more people to Blenheim, the revenue it's raised will help conserve the palace and its contents. And the morning after, hopes are that the revelry wasn't at the cost of damage to the delicate china.
So some of the china has moved a little bit overnight with the music going on. This cow is a little bit twisted. These things tend to be more or less symmetrical. We wouldn't place things at odd angles or twisted or touching each other, so you can tell quite quickly. You can see things aren't symmetrical anymore. So there's this, I'm not sure what that is, a dragon?
With the contents being especially fragile, Keeper of Palace Kate arrives to restore some order.
We've had quite a bit of movement. Nothing dangerous, but we'll need to keep an eye on it again tonight. because if we see any major movement, then we know we need to play with the levels of the music outside.
With another night of music ahead, Kate will need to do some multitasking.
So I can keep an eye on the china and watch the sugar bass.
Oh, that'd be nice and calm.
Yeah, very exciting.
But whilst the china's safe for now, the bad news is the birds are back. But this time, Carmen, Kate's deputy, is taking no prisoners. Nailed it.
We deal with pigeons every day.
Very difficult task because they make a horrible mess, and even the music from the concerts want to scare the pigeons away. So we are looking into sorting the problem in several ways, in a way that, of course, we're respectful towards the building and towards the animal.
Very varied job. It's all part of it, though. Got to protect the palace.
With the bird finally departed, on the south corner of the estate, Harrison is under pressure to get the crops to the busy, expectant kitchen.
Harvesting is a lot of fun. Sometimes it's quite stressful. You know, the kitchens demand it at a certain time, and I have to try and get it done as soon as possible. I've got 2 different types of mint, ordinary garden mint and some spearmints. They're going to be used for fresh mint teas, cocktails at the bar.
Having the garden on site and able to adapt to the kitchen's demands is a luxury. But it wasn't always like this.
When I came here, the garden was basically just bare earth and wasn't being used for anything. And I was able to have the opportunity to pitch to the people here at Blenheim about making this into a productive, abundant space again. Currently, the kitchen garden only scratches the surface of what the kitchens demand. And back in the day, this whole wall garden would have been cultivated. So definitely would like to expand going forwards.
The walled garden, which includes its own orchard, is as old as the palace. It covers 8 acres and is enclosed in 14-foot-high stone walls. But there is still a lot to do before the kitchen garden is restored to its former glory. And that progress is slow, as Harrison is often managing the crops alone.
I mean, I do have help occasionally, but it's part of the economics of kitchen gardening, is that it's difficult to justify the wage of several people when you could just actually import food cheaper. But we're trying to prove that with a small team, you can do a lot of work and grow a lot of vegetables to try and make it work financially going forward, trying to be hardworking and efficient.
As resourceful as Harrison wants to be, sometimes unexpected obstacles arise.
I seem to have misplaced my scissors. Talk about being efficient.
But with head chef Mark expecting a delivery urgently, he'll need to make do without.
It is also possible to just snap off asparagus, although I should be doing this with a knife. If the head gardener saw me now, he'd be horrified. But yeah, we need to get a bigger asparagus patch because currently the kitchens want a couple of 100 asparagus spears twice a week. And this little patch is not quite cutting it at the moment.
With his deadline fast approaching, things are going from bad to worse for Harrison.
I've just received a text from Mark saying that he isn't able to get a buggy down here for us.
Coming up, the palace welcomes a special guest.
This is a real honour, and for me.
And Carmen, Deputy Collections Manager, reaches new heights.
Going up.
Blenheim Palace, jewel of the Oxfordshire landscape, was gifted to the Duke of Marlborough by Queen Anne and has been in the ancestral family since 1705. Costing £300,000, nearly 60 million in today's money, the palace and walled garden build began at the same time. And Harrison, head of the kitchen garden, is on a mission to restore it to its former glory, with regular deliveries to the kitchens, if only he can get there.
I've just received a text from Mark saying that he isn't able to get a buggy down here for us. We might be able to commandeer one of the vans.
Thankfully, he manages to catch a lift with Kate from the gardening team.
So give you a hand.
Yeah, sure. Wicked. Nice one.
Since the kitchen is at its busiest, the delivery is a welcome relief. And as the orders go out, head chef Mark is preparing one of the Orangery's best-selling seasonal dishes.
This is our asparagus that we've just got delivered from our garden. We will be lightly roasting it for a couple of minutes in the oven, and it's super tasty, so we don't really do too much to it. We're quite lucky that we get all the produce from the garden. And there we have it.
Lunch is going out. It's time for Mark to prep a brand new afternoon tea. And head caterer Jack has come down to check it out.
Hi Mark, how you doing?
Good.
All right, so we got the Winston Churchill afternoon tea today?
Yep. So it's good 4 or 5 months have gone into developing these with our pastry supplier. We tried to come up with ideas that people would be able to instantly recognise on the plate.
I thought Winston Churchill was a fry-up man. I've seen pictures of him having a fry-up every day with a cigar.
Well, funny you should say about a cigar, because that's exactly what we've got on our desserts.
Unbelievable. They look really good.
It's all part of a very important occasion.
So we're celebrating the 150th anniversary of Winston Churchill being born in the palace. We have little chocolate cigars on the afternoon teas, some little Winston Churchill top hats as well. And we have somebody coming in as Winston Churchill. He stays as character the whole time. And he'll normally stay in character with all the staff as well. It's really fun.
A couple have been gifted tea as a birthday present and have no idea they will be joined by a special guest.
It was a surprise today that we've come here, but yeah, I actually travel past quite regularly. Always have a look in, but I've never been in, so this is my first time in the building. We do like our afternoon teas. We've been to a few over the years, so this is our first time. Yeah, truly unique experience.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Approaching from the north, via the grand, tree-lined avenue and paying tribute is Stan, a Churchill lookalike, known as Winstan.
Palace is looking wonderful again, sir.
Absolutely. The view across the lake must be one of the best views in England.
The group are passionate about bringing history to life.
That's where you witnessed the amphibious tanks.
Yes, we did a lot of tests before and during the war. The Duke was very agreeable to looking at landing crafts and amphibians here. Helped us no end.
Churchill was born at Blenheim unexpectedly when his parents were visiting his grandfather, the 7th Duke, and it became an important place for him all his life. He proposed to his wife, Clementine, in the Temple of Diana, and they spent their honeymoon at the palace.
And a classic view.
Renowned for his wartime leadership, he was known to pop by when MI5 made Blenheim its headquarters. Today, Winstan brings Churchill's memory to life and is about to give Bruce and his wife a tea time surprise.
You never know quite what's going to happen. Ah! Hello. Are you Bruce?
I am Bruce.
Now, do I understand it's your birthday today?
It is.
And do you mind me asking how old you are?
21.
You're 21. You're looking good on it. I shall be 150 at the end of the year. Yes, would you mind? It's always a great pleasure and privilege to come back here, because you do realise I was born here.
But the afternoon isn't complete without Mark's custom-made treats inspired by some of Churchill's favourites.
Done a bit of research on it. Obviously, we're lucky that we've got the information to hand, and it's a little bit of a few luxury ingredients.
And after months of historical research and menu planning, tea is finally served.
You're rather envious of my cigar.
Yes, it's quite impressive, isn't it?
It's very impressive.
Yeah. And the hat.
Yes.
You managed to extract the poison first in the year.
It's a secret, sorry, in my class.
It's fair enough. Enjoy your afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I do love a good afternoon tea, and for me, it was absolutely brilliant. Food was fantastic, and who'd have thought we would have met the Winston himself, which was a fantastic experience. The guy's knowledge and the way he looks and the way he behaves is exactly like Winston himself. Yeah.
Brilliant.
But back in the Great Hall, the work of protecting and conserving the palace collections is an ongoing job. And today, with the pigeons finally departed, the Palace Collections team, Kate and Carmen, are doing their rounds.
There's something there that has got my eye, but it looks quite weird to me.
Carmen has spotted a potential issue with the painting of the 7th Duchess, Frances. But with it being out of reach of the guests, the cause of the problem is a mystery from ground level.
Well, if you're happy, then I'll grab the hoist and then I'll go and have a look.
The only way up is the mechanical hoist. But with the West Corridor reaching 20 metres in height, it's not for the faint-hearted.
I've always been terrified of heights, always. And I got kind of used to it, but year after year, a little higher, little higher, little higher. The highest that I've been is the Capitol over there. These jobs always gives you different challenges. And we love it.
As she rises to the challenge, Carmen has enlisted Ryan from maintenance to make sure she'll be safe when working at heights.
Going up.
So what are you going to be checking for then?
So possible damage just caught my eye. This is new.
What, is it a scratch or
No, what I can see are the threads of the canvas, so the paint is completely gone. So I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to check the condition report. I do not recall this. I just wonder if this was one of the pigeons trying to get out, just flying against everything.
Those pesky pigeons.
Your Grace.
But at least there's a silver lining.
Very pleasantly surprised on the dust levels, but high level is not that bad. I'm actually very happy about that. Right, shall we check that light, or do you want to do that one first?
I think we'll do this one first.
Yeah, perfect, let's do that.
Assessing the many paintings, statues and artifacts promises to keep them constantly busy, and it's no small responsibility.
Yeah, that's much better.
With every detail being as important as the last,
Can you catch that cobweb?
the expert team have their work cut out for them to make sure the palace and collections remain a legacy for future generations. Meanwhile, back outside the orangery with tea finished, it's time for Winston to greet his public and surprise a few more folks.
Have you come far? Yorkshire. Yorkshire. Oh, well, that's quite a way. Oh, yes, especially if you've got a walk.
And such dignified company as well.
So very kind of you to say so.
We take it seriously, we like to play a part, we have our roles, we understand historically the importance of that, and we try and recreate that for the public.
This is a real honour. And for me.
I think it's very important that Churchill's story is told in an authentic way. It's really special for me, and I know for the ladies as well.
Yeah, a privilege.
Yeah.
A great privilege that we take very seriously.
Much to the enjoyment of visitors from all over the world.
I'm from Texas. Mr. Churchill.
You're from Texas?
Yeah.
Oh, how wonderful.
I studied Mr. Churchill from the time I knew myself.
Uh-huh.
We will win the war by land,
sea, and air.
And air.
And let us therefore brace ourselves to our duties. This was their finest hour. So you have a wonderful day and make it your finest hour.
Thank you, Mr. Churchill.
Thank you.
And with that, it's time for Winston to depart. But with further appearances planned throughout the year, it won't be long before he returns to his beloved Blenheim. Next time,
come on.
Sean the shepherd intervenes in a family feud.
She'd have dropped that and just left it.
Social historian Antonia plays hide and seek.
The mice are hidden somewhere in the room.
And head of innovation, David, lets the dogs out.
This is the best selfie moment we've ever had.
Welcome to Blenheim, jewel of Oxfordshire. Built by Sir John Vanbrugh and birthplace of Sir Winston Churchill.
This is a real honour, and for me.
With nearly 1 million visitors annually,
Lots to see then, lots to do.
exploring the 300-year-old estate.
And voila, the door is open.
It's non-stop
We're slightly overwhelmed, to be honest.
for the staff behind the grandeur.
Got tech palace.
As they can serve,
Oh, aren't they beautiful?
entertain, and inspire.
I love the place, I love the people.
Welcome to the beating heart of Britain's greatest palace. Coming up, head shepherd Sean has a difficult birth on his hands.
Nothing's ever straightforward.
Social historian Antonia inspires young minds.
The mice are hidden somewhere in the room.
And head of innovation David lets the dogs out.
He doesn't bite. It's very well behaved.
It's spring in Oxfordshire, and nestled in the beautiful countryside is Blenheim Palace, a stunning 300-year-old historic house. The estate stretches over 2,000 acres and includes gardens, lakes, forests, and sheep. And for the farming team led by Sean, it's a very busy time, as it's lambing season for these four-legged lawnmowers. With the vast pastures as their birthing room, Blenheim sheep deliver later than other breeds born indoors. So with around 1,500 lambs due, it's an early morning start for Sean.
First of all, we'll have a drive around, do all the checks, making sure that everything that's born is healthy and ready to go. With 1,000 sheep, nothing's ever straightforward. On and off, I've been lambing sheep since I was 13. I started with my granddad. He was a shepherd. It's been a constant, really.
The first check of the day at 4 a.m. is the most important, as many lambs are born overnight. But finding the sheep that need help with labour is easier said than done.
For the last 2.5 weeks, I've been driving around 4, 5, 6 times a day. We didn't get in till 10:30 last night.
Lambing season is about a month long, and more often than not, lambs are born without any issues.
There's one just been born there, look. That's probably been born 10 minutes, and it's looking for the milk now, look. Going underneath, yeah, trying to find the teat. If they've been born, and the mother's with them, just leave them be, don't mess about with them, and hopefully, everything should be all right.
The search for sheep in distress continues, as Sean reflects on his job at Blenheim.
I've got a good handling system where you can bring the sheep in, good facilities, cracking bunch of people that I work with. You know, we graze grass, rear sheep. It don't really get much better than that.
Most lambs birth naturally, without issues, but interventions are sometimes needed to ensure safe labour.
So there's one across there. She's got a water bag out, and she's just about to lamb. You see, this could take 5 minutes. It could take 45 minutes. You never know.
But Sean can spot the signs of distress and knows when nature needs a helping hand.
Go on, then. Come on. That's all right.
With the mother struggling to deliver the lamb, Sean can see that time is not on their side.
Come on. He's had a bit of stress. She won't push in, nothing. So his head's been there for a while. His tongue's a little bit swollen. Come on. That's it. There you go.
With Sean's help, it's a successful birth. But there's another problem. The mother seems disinterested in her newborn, and Sean will need to intervene in these vital first moments to make sure the lamb isn't abandoned.
If I let her go, she just might do a runner. Once she licks it, once she talks to it, yeah, she'll be fine then. She just needs to get used to the fact that she's a mother.
As dawn becomes morning on the other side of the estate, visitors are starting to arrive as the staff finish off their morning preparations.
The wind's in our favour today, isn't it?
Although the palace is 300 years old, it's been open to the public since 1950, attracting tourists from all over the world to view the amazing art collections and historical artifacts. And today, keeping an eye on things is apprentice George.
It's gotten a bit mucky from people touching it when they walk past.
Some artifacts have unique stories and important significance today, like the copy of the flag which John Churchill, Duke of Marlborough, and leader of the Allied troops, captured during the Battle of Blenheim in 1704.
I'll just get someone to clean that.
The battle proved to be a decisive victory against the French in the War of Spanish Succession, a struggle for control of the Spanish Empire, and led to Queen Anne gifting the royal estate and the funds to build the palace to the Churchills. It also led to a peculiar agreement between the palace and the Crown.
So this flag is quit rent standard, paid in lieu of money instead of rent to the royal household.
As long as the flag is delivered annually to Windsor Castle by the anniversary of the battle on the 13th of August, Blenheim doesn't need to pay the monarch rent. But with a trip to Windsor imminent, Head of Palace Kate has gone to the archives to make sure it's ready.
As we are on royal land, we're essentially leasing, if you like, from the Crown. And so since it was given to the first Duke in 1704, every year we have to take essentially a small flag and present it to the Queen or the King, and they hang it in the guards' chamber, and the one from the year before goes into their archives. I'll get this one carefully out. I get them made 3 years in a row, and it has to be delivered to Windsor before the anniversary of the Battle of Blenheim. Effectively, it quits your responsibility for paying rent. It's more of a symbolic payment than anything else.
The flag, carrying the French fleur-de-lis symbol, is handmade locally by a company carrying the royal seal.
Technically, if we didn't deliver it, they could repossess the land we're on and everything that's on it. But I'd like to think they wouldn't do that.
But back at the palace, not everything is draped in tradition. And making sure Blenheim is prepared for the future is Head of Innovation David. As a former butler to the 11th Duke, he's the perfect man to bring the palace into the 21st century. And today, he's meeting with some very special guests from Oxford Robotics.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hi David.
Good to see you. Oh, this is very exciting to have Spot here.
Spot is a robot dog who will use light detection and ranging sensors to scan the palace and create a 3D map of the interior. This will help the palace prepare better for the future.
So today we're just going to do a very simple walk around.
Yes, we're going to install the frontage and then we are ready to do some mapping.
Brilliant, excellent. Yeah, well, I'm excited.
But not everyone is as thrilled as David about Spot's presence.
We get a lot of comments like they've seen the robot on TV and it looks scary, but he actually is a very friendly robot.
There's no need to be nervous, right? No. You just need to be nervous of Kate and Carmen. If you knock anything over, you're in trouble.
The palace may hold many treasures, but Spot is also extremely valuable.
Okay, so David, we're gonna turn the Spot on. So I do require a 2 meter distance.
2 meter distance,
okay?
Absolutely.
Whenever you're ready.
But Spot doesn't want to go walkies.
But we will take him for a walk, or her. Now, who says never do a live demo, right?
I heard something, now I don't feel comfortable. I did everything right. I just heard the noise and now I'm shaking all over.
Coming up, social historian Antonia inspires the next generation.
So you can do a little bit of cleaning up in the air.
And the palace roll out the red carpet for some unexpected VIPs.
Here's our first competitors.
One of them just hissed at me.
Built in 1705, Blenheim Palace stands majestic in the Oxfordshire countryside. Set in magnificent parkland, it's hard to beat the view from the tree-lined avenue to the Great Court. And standing at its midway point is the Column of Victory, built to honour the first Duke, John Churchill. At 134 feet tall, it's exactly twice the height of the Great Hall, where robot dog Spot is headed to map the interior and help Blenheim protect itself for the future. If only David and friends can wake him up. They do say never work with animals.
I was working earlier in the lab, right? So, yeah. There we go. It's connected.
Yeah.
Power on.
Okay.
Stand.
You got it.
Fantastic.
Awake from his long nap, Spot is ready to wander around and map everything in his range.
People are already looking intrigued.
Yeah.
We need to go this way and you need a ticket.
Yeah.
I think this is the best selfie moment we've ever had. One of the key things here actually is to build a digital twin of Blenheim and to recognise the changes. So when you start thinking about the cracks and the movement and how the building is changing and evolving, this sort of technology is absolutely right up there. And if we can predict failure in the building, it means we can manage our restoration and conservation work much, much better.
Spot has an important job to do, but it's not every day you let a dog loose in a palace full of priceless objects.
It doesn't bite, it's very well behaved.
I don't particularly like it.
No?
I think it scares me.
Does it scare you? Why?
Yeah, don't know.
It's too realistic.
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
But Spot is feeling right at home.
Well, very well behaved, don't need to walk it.
Don't constantly walk trees.
No vet spills.
No.
As well.
And a dog not on its lead amongst the exhibition.
The risk assessment for this is quite fun, by the way. Yeah, okay. You know.
Is a unique bonus for the guests.
I just love the reactions from our visitors today, especially when you're bringing something as cutting edge as this into this 350-year-old building. People don't expect to see it. You know, Vivienne Westwood with a Boston Dynamics robot. Who would have thought, right?
That's enough socialising for today, as Spot has a lot of work to do bringing innovation to Blenheim. But he's not the only one. On two legs this time, social historian Antonia is helping create content for the Culturati project, a Europe-wide initiative to innovate heritage sites using new technologies. And her office is a treasure trove of history just waiting to be brought to life.
You might be interested in the Victorians, and we've got these wonderful photographs dating back to 1896, I believe. It was when local fire brigades all got together and came to Blenheim, and they camped in the park, and they had all these demonstrations and competitions, and there's the Blenheim Brigade. And it was formed, most part, by members of the Blenheim staff.
Fire is a serious concern for heritage buildings like the palace, so it was essential for Blenheim to have its own brigade.
And in fact, we did have a number of serious fires, and one of them completely destroyed the orangery roof and the bakehouse above it, and a whole collection of paintings by Titian. Normally, you wouldn't have access to this information, you wouldn't see this photograph, but with the Culturati project, with the platform that we're developing, you'll be able to see the photograph and there'll be a voiceover telling you exactly what's going on there. So this will make the whole audio guide experience completely different, and it's, you know, cutting edge technology. So it's a fantastic project to be involved in.
But you can't beat the traditional methods of visitor fun too.
I'm a great believer that if you drag children along to stately homes, then there needs to be something for them. And so these are the Marlborough mice, and we have a trail. The mice are hidden somewhere in the room. There's a little story attached to each of them. And the story's aimed at children, but it is factual as well. So, for example, Julian, who winds the clocks, you know, lots of children aren't familiar with the concept of clocks that don't run on batteries, etc., and you actually have to wind them up every week. They're all called after members of staff, strangely enough. So this is Heather, that's Kate, this is Carmen. So yeah, they all have names. Let's put you. So you can do a little bit of cleaning up in the air.
As part of the project, Antonia is always looking for new ways to bring the mice to life.
For the Culturati project, what we thought we would do, we want to do as many new things as we possibly can. So we've taken the mice trail and we've animated it so that our visitors will be able to look and listen, and hopefully it will engage the children and families. So this is a little mouse called Steve, who's the fastest mouse in the palace. And he would pop up before the bell had even stopped ringing. And a good servant would do that anyway. And it demonstrates how the little handles beside the fireplace were used to ring the bells for the servant. So we then go on and ask a series of questions, and then it'll pop up with the answer and a final clip of Steve doing his job of changing the candles in the chandelier. We're absolutely thrilled with the animation. Oh dear.
But the real mice aren't quite as lively, and they're not going to hide themselves. So Antonia needs to get them to the palace before the next round of school groups arrive. Meanwhile, outside in the Great Court, events manager Natalie is overseeing the team rolling out the red carpet for something more immediate, the Blenheim Palace Triathlon.
So what we've got going on here is the install for the transition. These are bike racks that we're setting up now and carpet.
The annual Blenheim Triathlon sees participants take part in 3 disciplines: a lake swim, a cycle around the park, and finally a 3 or 5k run.
So once they've done their swim, they'll come and get their bikes, and then they'll come back here after they've done their bike run. And they will then go out and run along to the finish line. As you can see, it's important that we're protecting stones on the floor and the cobbles.
With over 5,000 participants expected over the weekend, the team will be working until the sun sets to meet the deadline. But for Julian, Deputy Events Manager, it's always worth it.
The Blenheim Triathlon is 20 years old now, so the first one was in 2005. One event, we thought we'd give it a go, really worked out well, and now it's been with us for all these years, and yeah, it's one of the highlights of the calendar.
The 2-day event stretches over large parts of the estate, so there is a lot to do. But as night turns to morning, Julian is making sure the long day starts off right.
Are you ready?
Yeah, there you go, Julian.
Thank you very much. Shake it. Big nose. So I'll go around and make sure everybody's fed and watered. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
An army marches better on a full stomach, and the Blenheim troops are now energised and ready to go.
Obviously, the layout outside changes. We have to sort of accommodate more people, and some people who work inside will help outside. We all kind of do what we have to.
And with everyone chipping in, it's the final push before the doors open.
Everybody's in place, and we've got our guys in the entry kiosk. Just to confirm, the gates are now open, we're good to go, so have a great day.
And with that, there's excitement in the air as participants join the resident geese.
These are our first competitors.
Oh, don't. One of them just hissed at me. I was absolutely petrified.
Good morning, welcome to Blenheim Palace Triathlon for the 20th anniversary. We believe there are 40% of you taking part that are newbies, and that is absolutely incredible.
And tackling the course today are 3 such newbies: John, Pete and Tom, childhood friends who decided to do a triathlon to celebrate turning 30.
This is the first triathlon for all of us. I think the closest thing I've done to this is a 10k. It's the most beautiful triathlon in the UK. So it's last night, did you? Yeah, I was up at 5:30 ready to go.
With safety being paramount at the triathlon, it might have been a good idea to read the rules.
Make sure you got your helmets on. No entry through here without your helmets, please.
Pete, this is a bit late to ask this question. You do have a helmet in there for me, don't you?
No.
So what's happened, guys?
Well, one of these two has forgotten his helmet.
Not allowed through without the helmet.
Luckily for the guys, the organisers have seen it all before, and there are kit stalls for any last-minute fails.
Leave the bike with us. Go and find out how much they are.
It's just as much my fault as Pete's. He's lending me the helmet, and I didn't check that he had it until we pulled up, unfortunately.
What's the cheapest one? Would you like to try on first? Yes, please. The size reference? Yeah. I'll get you the best. Thank you.
Right, sorted.
Yeah, that looks good. It looks faster than the one I was bringing for you.
With the crisis averted, there's no time to spare, and the guys finally make it through the transition area so they can get suited up and begin their first ever triathlon. Coming up, conservationist Philippe spots a hidden gem.
It is the most extraordinary thing.
And Sean the Shepherd's family therapy,
come on,
takes a turn.
She'd have dropped that and just gone, left it.
In 1764, the 4th Duke at Blenheim Palace commissioned Lancelot Capability Brown to reimagine the parkland, which included the creation of the Great Lake and Cascades. Brown's work at Blenheim is considered one of the masterpieces of English landscaping. Today, the beautiful grounds are maintained by flocks of sheep. But not everything is running smoothly for Sean, the estate's head shepherd, who, having saved a mother and her lamb from a difficult birth, is still having trouble getting the pair to bond. The crucial first moments where the sheep licks her lamb and claims it as her own has not gone well.
Go on.
And Sean is trying every trick in the book to stop the lamb from being abandoned.
With these sheep, it's just the wander off. Your lambs will get hungry, and they've got to have that colostrum, that first milk, within the first couple of hours of being born. Come on.
But with little success in the field, Sean's having to resort to drastic measures.
Right, up you get. Come on. Don't go mardy on me. Sit. In.
It's clear to see why Sean's on lamb duty 24/7.
She'd have dropped that and just gone, left it. What we'll do now, we'll take it back to the pen and give it a bit of one-on-one bonding time. Try to convince it that it's going to be a mother.
In the safety of Park Farm, Sean and the team can give the lambs the best chance of survival.
We're going to get it in a pen, give it some water, just keep an eye on it. Once it's in the pen, it can't run off. That's half the battle done. Still not too bothered, is she? Go on. That way. Not bothered. She'll come round. We'll starting to take a bit of notice now, look. Me. Come on.
It seems Sean's going to have to get hands-on to encourage the mothering instinct. But first, a little housekeeping.
We spray the navels with iodine. It kills all the bacteria around the navel and it dries the navel up. But it usually works that as her milk comes through the other end, she knows that it's hers then. I thought if we could get him sucking, she might have a bit more of a bond with him, but we'll keep it with her for a while, yeah. And hopefully she'll accept it.
As Sean leaves a helpful note for his fellow shepherds, it's clear they've seen this all before, because this ewe isn't the only troublemaker.
Well, she's come out of the pen. Catch must have come undone. Come on. Come on, that way. That's it. She's been out once because she doesn't like one of her lambs. So, you know, and that's just the way it goes.
With order restored, Sean can check if a bit of ewe time has helped. And it's good news.
Come on, let it have a drink. That's what it needs. That's the colostrum. Thick, creamy colostrum. That's the first milk that any animal gives. It's got all the vitamins and minerals and everything in it that a lamb needs. I mean, a good drink he is.
It seems finally mother and baby have bonded. It's moments like these that make all the hard work worth it.
The highs and lows of lambing. You can never predict what's going to happen. Every day is different. But this one will be all right now. She looks like she's talking to it, so yeah. I think we can scrub it off now, yeah, to be honest. Yeah, she looks all right.
But with hundreds of lambs yet to be born, there's no time to rest for Sean. And it's straight back out again into the field. Meanwhile, social historian Antonia is making sure the palace has some animals inside as well.
We have a mouse trail that goes throughout the palace, and we hide mice, and they do special little jobs. I think it's really important to engage children from an early age, and so if they can come to us and have a bit of fun and learn something along the way, then they'll come back in the future.
With a busy week of school trips on the horizon, Antonia has a lot of ground to cover.
So this is Bertie.
And her little mice could be lurking anywhere.
That little mouse is Steve the Speed.
Each mouse is carefully placed to tell a story.
You little mice really do have a bit of a job, don't you? Because this is the room where Winston Churchill was born. Let's put you in there, and you can start cleaning. There we are. Happy day's work. In this bookcase, we have Martha and George. And Martha and George both work as part of the ops team. And they're busy putting this special film on top of the books to protect them from dust. And they have quite a big job to do. There are 10,000 books in this library.
Blenheim's Long Library has been used as a location for numerous feature films, and it's the longest room in the palace. But this grandiose space has had many different uses throughout its history.
This room has seen so many things in its lifetime. During the First World War, this space was used as a hospital. It was a convalescent hospital. Lots of soldiers, a team of nurses, and they really, really took care of these men and made sure that they recovered as best they could. During the Second World War, from 1939 to 1940, we had a school evacuated here, and so the Malvern boys' schoolhouse used this as their dormitory. One of the boys, who was a very, very good cricketer, took it upon himself to have a bit of practice, and he managed to smash one of the windows in the centre of the room there. And if you look very carefully at that organ pipe, it's got a great big dent in it, and I think that was down to this young man as well.
And of course, no story of Blenheim is complete without its mouse.
So you can see little Jess Mouse up there, and her job is to make sure that all the organ pipes are clear, because if the holes get blocked up, then no sound comes out.
With every mouse in position, Antonia's job is complete. But while they're meant for kids, they seem to be going down a treat, regardless of age. Meanwhile, outside the palace walls, visitors are exploring the rest of the estate through the annual triathlon, which is currently in full swing. Every wave of participants start at the Great Lake, where Annie and the safety team are on hand to make sure everything is going swimmingly.
I'm a Londoner, and I always say the London events are my favourite, but this is certainly the most stunning venue that I've ever worked at a triathlon or done a triathlon at.
All precautions are in place, as the team at the lake are aware things can go wrong very quickly.
We'll have a team of canoeists who just a few will stay right by the start all the time.
Supporting Annie from the boat is Paul, and it's fair to say he's seen it all.
The most common thing is cramp, probably followed by panic attacks for people that weren't prepared for the cold water or something like that.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Blenheim Palace Triathlon 2024!
The next wave of triathletes are raring to go, including staff member Michael from the IT team.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, that's one of the beauties about working at Blenheim is it's stuff like this, it's so varied.
Remember, you've done the training, you've done the mental preparation. You must be...
I haven't done much training for it. I cycle into work every morning, which is a similar cycle route to what we're doing today, so I'm hoping that's going to get me through it. Probably the swimmer's the strongest, weakest would definitely be the run. I'm not a runner.
No turning back now. Hopefully, he hasn't bitten off more than he can chew.
3, 2, 1, off we go.
But the grueling swim is only the beginning, as the triathletes are instantly faced with a taxing hill climb before the cycling section. And it's already having an impact on newbie John.
Bit tired. Just got to conserve the bike ride.
With spirits mostly high, the next stage will see participants cycling along the roads that wind through the scenic forest. Meanwhile, deep in the parkland, Head of Conservation Philippe is beginning a day of surveys.
We look at a place like Blenheim, and this is only 250, 300 acres of this woodland over here, and only 7% of woodland in the UK is in good condition. So you think you've got something that is, you can't even put a value on it. It is so, so, so precious.
And to help Philippe and his team monitor the area, David and the innovation team have been busy.
One of the things that we've developed at Blenheim is a biodiversity app where we record species, take a picture of it, and then we'll search it using AI and using a database, and then we can record it, and we know exactly what species it is and how the species are changing with the climate.
And bees are a crucial part of the ecosystem, transferring pollen between flowering plants and keeping the cycle of life turning. It's estimated 84% of all crops exist thanks to bees. And so great is their impact that if they're wiped out, mankind might only have 4 years left to live.
We've got about 53 colonies that have survived over 5 years, way beyond the life expectancy of a managed honeybee colony, which is 18 months to a maximum of 2 years.
And with the triathletes cycling through here, they'll never be more than a stone's throw away from the life of the ancient forest.
There's a honeybee colony, and when you see it, you will not actually believe that the millions of people that come through here. We have the triathlon, 5,000 people come past here and have their cameras and their phones and their binoculars, and no one has spotted these honeybees. It goes to show how much we've lost just our, not only the sense of observation of eyes, but also the sound. Here, 3 meters from the road, up in this incredibly beautiful oak, we've got a wild honeybee colony.
And the conservation tools don't just stop at the app.
Here I have a thermal camera. If you want to see life through here, you can see the beating heart of the tree. It is the most extraordinary thing.
And when Philippe's around, no one gets to walk past and miss out.
There's actually an idea that the pheromones released by the trees actually attract the honeybees. They're very similar to the honeybee pheromones.
Right.
So are the trees calling the bees in?
Coming up, it's pest control for the Palace Collections team.
Every time you do that, I think that you find something.
And the triathletes hurry towards a big finish.
I can do with jumping back in the lake.
Blenheim Palace, jewel of Oxfordshire, took more than 28 years to complete after work was stalled due to finances and a change of personnel, when the first Duchess, Sarah, fell out with the architect, Sir John Vanbrugh. Part of the magnificent house is the Long Library, measuring over 55 metres and thought to be the second longest room in England. It's home to a stunning collection of 10,000 books. And much like his rodent counterpart, Apprentice George's work involves taking care of them.
I was told the yellow jacket was me, but I've only just realised he has a necklace on, which is not perhaps my style.
But today, Carmen, Deputy Collections Manager, is here to outline George's next task.
George?
Yeah?
So what we need to do today, if you don't mind, is dusting these books.
Sure.
Now, do you want to know the challenge?
I do.
If we can see what you can achieve in an hour. If we don't have any early groups, you got up until 12:30.
Yes.
By then, everything must be locked and equipment cleaned, washed, and
everything's safe.
To avoid disturbing the visitors, George must work quickly. But with such a delicate task, there's too much at stake to rush things.
Well, I remember when I did first start cleaning the books, and it was a bit of pressure doing it. I think it's just that, oh God, I'm going to go clean 200, 300-year-old books. What if I make a mistake?
But that never goes away, I must say. You're responsible for something unique, bigger than you and bigger than everyone else that here. It's good to have that respect. It's good to have that
You don't
fear.
want to get blasé, do you?
Exactly. You know, you're not handling apples.
No. Very true.
And it's not only man-made damage that the conservation team fear.
So I'm just going to check the front and back cover for moths and dust them, and then check in the pages for moths, a few.
Book lice and moths are just some of the pests that keep the team up at night.
They are now moving everywhere because everything is constrained and everything has been packed properly. So they are moving into different areas.
Oh, I can't imagine how bad it would be if they spread to 10,500.
Don't give me nightmares.
And George is ever eagle-eyed.
I'm going to avoid hoovering over damaged bits.
Is it loose? Is there anything?
No, I just didn't want to loosen it, you know, going over.
It's fine. We just need to, when we put it back on the shelf, we just need to be careful that we don't put any weight.
Yeah. It was quite dusty. I think it's the location.
Every time that you do that, I think that you found something.
Says you do a panic.
As impressive as the library's collection is, back in the day, it was twice the size.
The original collection was over 20,000 books. Unfortunately, as time passed within the family and some money went away, so the 7th Duke sold the Sunderland collection. The remaining were sold as well by the 8th Duke. And then, thanks to the 9th Duke, we managed to bring at least over 10,000 books back.
Even incomplete, the collection, with its many personal touches, is truly awe-inspiring.
They go from gardening, a little bit of fashion, history, plenty of history ones, history of art, which they are my favourite.
I like the natural history ones, because they always have pictures in.
Yes, those are
Lovely
really,
watercolours,
Yeah.
all sorts. If you go to the British Library, the books are, rightly so, kind of pristine and unmarked. Whereas here, there were notes. I found love letters in books. I found sketches of a woman in profile, you know, to my Duchess in a book, which I think that personal touch makes it interesting for me.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. Well, I think you have this under control, George.
I think so. Yeah, thank you. Not at all.
See you in a
Great.
bit.
See you in a bit.
And with his deadline looming, George cracks on with the job. Meanwhile, Spot, the robot dog, is finishing up his scan of the palace's vast collections with the goal of creating a highly detailed 3D map of Blenheim. And today, David, head of innovation, is showing Kate, keeper of palace, the first results.
It's pretty amazing. You can see a lot of detail on the ceiling. Can I go up to the ceiling?
Yeah. This is a replica of the building, and again, we can make this more detailed. We can start looking at how we can predict failure in the building, and using these sorts of tools and techniques just enables us to do a lot more.
Absolutely, and you can just keep an eye on any cracks that we have. Oh, wow.
So how about doing your work from home now?
I'm not sure it will work all of the time.
No.
I'd say even monitoring like the tops of the curtains.
But being able to go into detail and really inspect the fabrics as well, so whether it's a tapestry
Yes.
high up.
What do you think?
I think it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
incredible.
there's so many ways it can help.
It's all about conservation at Blenheim. And back over in High Park, Estate Conservation Manager Philippe is continuing his survey of the ancient woodland.
Over here, we've got a path that leads us into Hyde Park. Probably, one of the most biodiverse and important areas in the UK, but an example of what we can do with ecology. This area was not touched by Capability Brown. This is just evolved through the ages and been maintained through the ages. Twice a year, we're going around, we survey all the trees, over 1,100 trees, individually. And we now, not only are we looking up, but we're looking down as well. We're just surrounded by veteran and ancient oaks. These are all magnificent, looking at 300, 400, some of them 600 years old.
And today, Philippe has been joined by colleague Francis to carry out the essential checks.
We're measuring incremental growth. Believe it or not, these trees aren't static. They are still, in fact, growing. So we're just monitoring the progression of the tree as it keeps getting older. Good news, very good news. And we'll check it against the database and see if it's grown in the last few years.
At 600 years old, it's not done yet. And every ancient tree in this forest has a story to tell, but one has a greater story than any other.
This tree has been here for 1,000 years. It was here before the palace was even thought of, before it was built. The era of William the Conqueror, invading England, this would have been a sapling, or it would have been germinating. It's managed to survive browsing, human interference, fires, droughts, heat. For me, there's a real sort of reverence about it. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I feel when I walk in these woods and I see a tree like this, or particularly when I'm around a tree like this, that you really get emotional.
And with the triathletes approaching, thoughts turn to the impact the event has on the parkland.
We'll see about 2,000 to 3,000 bikes sort of entering an area that they wouldn't normally be entering. It's normally quite low footfall in this area. Our biggest impact with the triathlon will be rubbish lost throughout the event. It tends to fall out of people's pockets and get blown around by the wind.
The positive part of the triathlon is it's the message about the importance of these habitats. That yes, even though we want people to have a look at them, but just how precious they are and how they need to be protected.
Meanwhile, with the triathlon nearing its end, the cyclists are exiting the forest and heading back towards the palace.
The atmosphere is buzzing today. We are very happy. The sun is out, participants are flowing. Our guests are having a great day. So we're really pleased with it.
You started in the water, you took to your bike, and now taking you home are your legs, your feet, and your determination.
And it's good news for Michael from the Blenheim IT team, as his cycle to work every morning seems to have been enough to get him across the finish line. But there's only one thing on his mind.
I think I'm going to get a beer. That's my go-to after a race, is a nice cold beer.
And he's not the only one to make it. Triathlon newbies John, Paul and Tom can also delight in their achievement.
About as difficult as I imagine it would be. I can do with jumping back in the lake. It's really stunning.
Yeah, it's good saying. Good saying. Yeah,
come back for a nice walk.
Yeah.
Definitely come back.
Yeah.
For events manager Natalie, it's all about the people.
I think what makes an event like this is the spectators and the supporters that come along, and the atmosphere when they finish and get their medal is electric.
The 20th anniversary of the Blenheim Triathlon has gone off without a hitch, and the team can tick off another event on the busy Blenheim calendar. Next time, history comes to life with the Palace Guides.
We've got to make sure that your hair is straight at all times.
Blenheim's property manager has a fight on his hands.
It's the whole childhood make-believe.
And the palace tapestries are getting a makeover.
It's a really quick release mechanism.